Hi teachers, it's Joan. This is our monthly newsletter, and I'd like to thank people for reading and contributing to the question that Cath Whiddon sent in to me, which appeared last month, and that is what to do with the fact that we're producing a generation of people who type and press into Bridgemates, not type, but they just press the results into Bridgemates. And do they really know the implications of the scoring, and what can we do about it? Well, I've printed this month some of your answers, and I was very thrilled to hear and read some of them. And they ranged from giving students a list of what the scores mean and going through it. And to suggesting that in the beginning of, say, supervised play, take 5 or 10 minutes to explain the score. I'm always about showing people through hands. So I think that if we as teachers can focus on discussing scoring more, if we're in a lesson on preempting and we've done the first hand, say, every time that we have a result, make sure they look at what could have been gained by the other side and why the preempt worked or whether it worked or not. But focus more on scoring at the end of your lessons. I know that when I'm doing workshops, sometimes I gloss over the scoring at the end, and it's probably being reflected in the students that we haven't focused enough on scoring. So I intend to really show them the scores at the end of every lesson that I do, particularly when we can see that, say, even if it's bidding 3 and making 3 or going down 1 when the other side could have made 2. These are really vital elements that I don't think our Bridgemate generation is really aware of. Anyway, one particular area that I think needs to be taught a lot more than it is what happens on a hand like this. And you can bring the scoring into this, of course. But here we have an opening hand. Let's go 1 spade. The next hand doubles and our partner redoubles. So I think this is a very untaught area. It's not been covered in most classes or most students that I see. They're not even aware what a redouble is really. So a redouble in this situation promises 10 or more points, and most importantly, we should teach them that it denies a fit. So the first thing in competitive auctions, if we had a fit, if North had a spade fit, show the fit. So when you say redouble, you say, look, I haven't got a fit, but we've got the balance of power. So I'm going to get the opponents if they step out of line. And so you're saying, I don't have a spade fit, but I've got 10 or more points, and I'm just sitting quietly to see what happens. And the opponents haven't done anything wrong. They've just made a takeout double. But where people also go wrong is they feel that they have to bid on a hand like this. Well, it's the very opposite. The redouble happened so that on a decent opening hand, you pass. So we're going to pass. And West had to bid 2 clubs because otherwise it would have been 1 spade redoubled. Now, partner has stepped up and doubled. That is a penalty double, and they're saying they've got 4 clubs probably, and they have a doubleton or singleton spade, and they feel that East-West are ripe for the pickings, that they think we will be able to take more tricks and score more than perhaps even making 3 no trumps. So it's a very interesting time to teach students about a redouble, and that all future doubles after a redouble are for penalties. And they're saying, don't bid, partner, let's defend. So let's defend. So the 10 of spades is led from partner. We don't know whether that's a singleton or a doubleton, but we don't need to play anything more than the 5. It was a doubleton, so the spades were 5, 4, 2, 2. We could put the 9 on it. Sure enough, they're all gone. I think ace of spades next. Ruffed and over ruffed. Partner leads the diamond. We cover the queen with the king. Right, partner's 9 as one. Things are going well here. Another diamond, we play the jack. The diamonds were 3-3. We've taken some diamond tricks. In fact, we've now taken 5 tricks. This contract is certainly not making. Now, play the king of spades, just what we want to do. Trump over trump by partner, who now leads a heart. Partner had the ace of hearts as well. That's good. Now they're playing the king of clubs. They might have maybe played another heart. I don't know if they've got one, but king of clubs takes the trick. They are now, or they had the heart, so we'll pitch that. And the last trump. So we actually managed to score 1100. So at the end of a hand like that, you really want to show the students what's just happened, because many people will not understand the concept of gaining by a redouble and then a subsequent penalty double. We could have made 3 no trumps here, but who wants 400 when you can get 1100? So careful defence, and look at partners' clubs, king, queen, 10, X. Now, West didn't make any mistake. They weren't doing a silly thing when they doubled one spade. They were just showing an opening hand with a shortage in spades. But it just didn't work for them because partner was the one who said, we have the balance of strength, partner, talking to us, and we don't have a spade fit, so let's defend. There's so much to teaching students about scoring and showing them why this score gained so much more than, say, 3 no trumps. So thanks again for all those comments, and I'm sure there's more for us to discuss. But let's focus this month on showing students the scores more of any lesson that we do with them. Have a great month, everyone.